What's up, everybody? I am MayorHawk, and we are back again with yet another HawkVlog, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about net neutrality. Now, it's really surprised me how many people don't know about this, and it's just something that in my field, I guess, and what I'm exposed to as a YouTuber and what I do in my own personal life, that this has been in the news for a long time. But a lot of people, they hear it and they kind of just gloss over. They're like, okay, something going on with the internet, yada, 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 I'm fine. But what you may not know and what you may not realize is this vote that's coming this Thursday, December the 14th, is very important to you, and it could very much affect your daily life. What this vote is for is the future of net neutrality. The FCC is meeting to vote on it. Now, what is net neutrality? Why do you care? Net neutrality is essentially rules that ensure that the internet will always remain open and free. So you, the user, can decide what sites you want to go to, what streaming service you want to use, what internet sites you care to read posts about, and all that is free to you. What social media sites you use, all that is free for you to choose. You have to pay for your internet speeds, but once you paid for that speed, what your download time is, what your bandwidth is, all that, once you paid for all that, the internet is yours to do with as you please under net neutrality. That also protects people who are putting content on the internet. So if you are a startup company, your website, once you put it up, it's going to run at the same speed as any other website that you might be competing with on the internet. Now, if this vote is turned, if the vote goes through to get rid of net neutrality, that won't be true anymore. What that will do is the FCC wants to remove all those guidelines off of the internet providers. Your internet providers like Comcast, Verizon, all them. Now, I'm not going to AT&T. I got to be fair. I got to list everyone. Now, I'm going to do this without trying really hard not to talk about political sides. I'm not going to talk about parties. I don't want to talk politics with you guys. I want to talk issues with you guys. So I'm not going to list out after that one time just to get clarified to you who the internet provider is. I'm not going to talk about what provider wants to do what. If you guys want to dive into that at all, Google it before December 14th. So if this vote goes through on December 14th, what this will allow internet providers to do is they will be able to classify down what types of traffic you're going to pay for. They could say that if you want to use Facebook, that's an additional $12.99 a month. If you want to use Netflix, you have to pay $50 extra a month. And they could also say, if you want to use Netflix, that's fine. It's going to work significantly slower than the streaming service that I, as a company, own over here. So if your internet provider owns a streaming service, let's call it streaming service A, and you want to use streaming service B, they don't own streaming service B, they could slow traffic to streaming service B through the internet that they provide, but give you internet service A at optimum speed. So if you're paying for 300 down, you might get 300 down from internet service A, but you're not going to get 300 down from internet service B. You might get 50 down. And so that's something that they will be able to do. They could also charge you for, if you want to use CNN's websites, that's an additional cost, and it's going to work slower. They could do that after net neutrality. So what that's really going to do is allow internet providers to dictate traffic, because you as a user, will you really accept slower speeds? And if you weren't aware of this net neutrality thing going on, you might think it is internet service B is just slower. And you think it just is slower, so I have to go use internet service A that is much faster for me. So your service providers would be able to dictate what news sites you go to, because you may not have access to their competitors. Or their competitors might just run so slow that you can't stand to wait for their site to load. Because we as users, it is something that is researched heavily in my field. I develop web applications that 2 seconds is too slow. Your average user moves on. If the site hasn't loaded in 2 seconds, they try refresh. If refresh doesn't work, they move on. And so these sites and services like Netflix, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, they could all be significantly hurt by net neutrality. And who's going to be really hurt, because they're all pretty big companies at this point, if they need to pay internet service providers more to get optimum speeds and then some way charge users more either in the form of ads or actually raising their fees if it's Netflix who has subscription costs. They may be able to do so. They're pretty large companies. Who this is really going to cripple is your smaller guy, your startup companies who can't afford to pay every internet service provider $150 a month to ensure that they're running at optimum speed when they have all these other costs just to get off the ground. And if it's more than that, if it's $2,000 a month, or $3,000 a month, they're not going to be able to pay what the giant established companies can do. So what it's going to do is the ones who are established will remain, at least for now, and the little guys are going to be significantly hindered in gaining any traction on the internet. So I think that this is definitely something that you need to be aware of. And if you want to take action, you can send letters to the FCC. Definitely check out SaveTheInternet.com. And there's lots of resources out there. If you Google net neutrality, the internet is blown up with it. Your social media sites, I believe, all of them, all the major ones, I know for sure, Facebook and Twitter have supported contacting FCC to not get rid of net neutrality. Amazon has supported that as well, and so has Netflix. So a lot of your content of the internet is really screaming for you to go stop them from getting rid of net neutrality. And so I hope that this was informative to you guys. If you have questions, please feel free to ask me down in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter or Facebook at HawkVlog1. And I really hope, guys, that this doesn't overturn. This wasn't our normal fun Hawk vlog because this was purely informational for you guys. I tried to describe it as simply as I could. If it didn't make sense, please go look it up. This is definitely something that you should fight for because it directly goes to your freedom as a user of the internet. So definitely get educated and fight for the issues, guys. This is MayorHawk, and I will see you all next time. Peace. Gotta hit the stop button.